Some wee.
All right, let's see. I'm now going to hit record. Okay, test. 1 2 1 2 1 2. Oh yeah, dude. KKK. Oh yeah, the triple K. No good.
You gotta either do 4 or 2.
Yeah, no more Ks. Yeah. Yeah. It can be 1 K.
Don't stop at 3.
Yeah. Special K. It's fine.
That's fine. Sure.
Couple of Ks.
Couple Ks. Okay. KK.
Carrie Conway.
I used to know a woman named Kristen Coons.
See, even better.
Whose initials were KK.
Because I was making that up, but you knew a real person, and that's amazing.
Yes.
All right. Here goes.
Yeah.
It begins in 3, 2, 1.
I am totally computer functional thanks to this Simon PDA from Bell South and IBM. It's a really interesting PDA built around the cellular phone. So with it, I can get a page, I can check my email, I can send or receive faxes, I can make a phone call, of course, and I can use it like a normal PDA. I can check my calendar, I can look up a phone number, even scratch a note to myself on this touch-sensitive screen, and it has a PCMCIA expansion slot here.
Draft.
Do the bees know they make honey for you? This is the morning stream.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to TMS. It is the morning stream for August 13th, 2020. I'm Scott Johnson, and that's Brian Ibbett. Hi. We had a slight delay today. Internet things.
Yes.
It's fine now.
Yes. We figured it out. It was a problem with our PCMCIA slots.
Remember those? Those were a big deal for a while. Yeah.
All right. Here's the thing. If I said to, would you be able to run from your desk and find something that has a SCSI connection on it and bring it back to the camera?
Oh my gosh. I'm gonna say not anymore. I used to have a SCSI based jazz drive.
right.
But
the best thing about the SCSI was before you had the little screws like you do still on some monitor cables where you screw it in to keep it from falling out.
Right.
The SCSIs had little clips that you pushed in, and they went into the sides of the.
It was super mechanical, SCSI. Right? Like a big old clanking thing.
Yeah,
we've come a long way, guys. Long way. Yeah. Parallel ports, serial ports.
Actually, it seems like those would be better than the screws for a monitor. Why don't they go back to those? The little metal clips that you just clip. I guess because they'd have to build those into the. It's a lot easier to put a screw hole into your monitor than it is to add a hinge with those metal clips on each side.
Yeah, that's a good point. Well, and plus, does anyone even do that anymore? Like, who's doing screws anymore? Does someone do those? Because the way I got it's all display ports and freaking HDMI over here now. So I guess if somebody's doing it the other way, they're insane.
Well, no, I mean DVI. I still have DVI cables. I mean, there's a VGA cable on this monitor. I don't use it, but it still has the screw holes.
Yeah, and see, these two I have here have no. I think they might be actually. These are the first monitors I've ever had that don't have DVI or VGA connectors.
Oh, really? They're all HDMI.
HDMI and DisplayPort.
And DisplayPort, yeah.
And so I use a combination of this one's on an HDMI, this one's on DisplayPort. Oh, you know what? I take it back. This widescreen one does have a DVI connection. I just felt it.
I felt the DVI. I pressed my thumb into it and looked at my thumb, and it bared the imprint of a DVI port.
I can feel it now. But then this other one is all like fancy-dancy new, and it doesn't have any of those old ports. And you know what? Sure. Good riddance, dumb ports. Go away. We're done with you.
Dumb ports. I'm trying to think if I have anything, even in the closet over there, that has SCSI on it. I might.
You probably do.
I don't know why, though. I don't know why I'd save anything that would be SCSI.
Do you have like trying to think of an old... What's an old thing?
Like an old scanner? I wouldn't keep an old scanner or an old hard drive or...
scanners, hard drives. What else? I think maybe some printers use them.
Yeah.
Drive arrays of different kinds.
Right.
Yeah, SCSI, dude. SCSI.
It does make you think it'd be kind of a fun thing if we pull a third person onto the show.
Yeah.
They give us the challenge of it's like TMS scavenger hunt, and we have to run and find something that they describe.
Oh,
and
I love
whichever
that
one
idea.
of us gets back first.
Yeah, I love that idea. It'd have to be within reason. I mean, if somebody said, I need some sterile forceps, I wouldn't be able to do it.
No, well, yeah, exactly. No, they couldn't just say anything.
Right, but if they said
Some of
Granny...
those things would take hours for us to go get.
Right, but if they said, like, Granny Smith apple, I could do it. I could go get one.
Oh, I have, yeah, we only have grapples. What are those? Not grapples. It's Honeycrisp.
Honeycrisp, you're right. That's probably what I do have now that you say that.
Yeah.
But also, if they said, "Hey, I want an action figure of Hammerhead from the original Star Wars,"
Right,
I've got that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yep.
It'd have to be nerd stuff, but we could do it. Computery, nerdy, you know. Find me
this
a
would be fun.
USB 1 cable. I could find that. It was square with one little indent on one corner. That's how you knew it was 1.0.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I got that somewhere. It's not in this room though.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Really, USB.
It was square with like a. Well, it was like a. I'm sorry. There's USB 1.0.
Oh, USB A. Right. Okay,
correct.
right.
USB A.
Yeah, like a big fat D on it.
Yeah. It was kind of square,
It's
except
got
it
a big
had
fat D. I've got one.
had that one little key side, so you knew which way to put it in, sort of. It's still not as good as what we're doing today, but you probably got one right there.
Like this guy right here.
it is.
Yeah, because
That's the one.
one of my DJ interface units for doing shows has only this kind of USB.
I used to tour under the name DJ Interface. That was my name for a while.
DJ, yo, what's up, I'm DJ Interface. Let me hear ya.
I mean, if
Let's
somebody
play
said,
some-
let's see, where is this? Here it is. If somebody said, "Hey, Scott, pull up the closest scout trooper to you," I have this little guy. Boing. See?
Nice.
So yeah,
Well,
that's
see,
a fun game.
It doesn't work when you go and get something and then say, "Quick, find the thing that I have in my hand."
How about this one? What if somebody said, "Hey, Scott, show me a really old, crappy iPod Nano," or no, iPod? What were these called? I forgot what these are called. Anyway, the ones that are like basically like phones, but without the
iPod Touch.
touch. That's it. It's been a
Yes.
while, but man,
Project Red Edition.
these are so tiny. Well, actually, this is more like a. It's more pink, I think. I don't know, but this one's so small. Look, it's like a Tamagotchi compared to my big phone.
How about an iPhone? I'm trying to think. What's the one that had this? Look at this back on this iPhone. What is that?
That is
Remember that, like,
3.
Is that an iPhone
3GS,
3GS,
3G, probably. I think they
Yeah.
stopped doing the plastic shell around it with the 3s. It was the 4. Yeah, because the 4 had the weird rim around it that was in trouble for the bad antenna or whatever. It was.
Right. Yeah. Look at that.
Yeah, that's old school, dude.
Vinyl records. Come on. I've got vinyl records.
Dude, you're made of vinyl
Come
records.
on.
That's cheating.
Oh, which one is this? This one here's another old iPhone.
Yeah.
This is the square jobber, but
Let's take a
it's
look
got
at
a
your.
case on it.
Let's see your jobby. Square jobby.
See, it's got the square. It's the square job, but I'm trying to get this case off.
That's either a 4
Here
or
we
a
go.
5. Probably a 5.
Might be a 5, yeah.
Yeah. Can you believe we used to use screens that small?
Can you believe I still have it? Why?
I don't know why you have it either. I have one too, somewhere.
I mean, I really could make a little Apple museum with all iPods, iPhones.
Yeah, that's pretty
The
good.
shuffles. I have a bunch of different shuffles and nanos.
I have this. Oh, hold on. Here's a fun fact for you, Brian. I have this baseball in this little case.
Uh-huh.
This is a baseball signed by famed pitcher Kurt Schilling, and here's the fun thing about it. Every
Yeah,
time
he's
Kurt
bloody.
Schilling says something super shitty on Twitter, it goes down in value by $10. So
Oh, I could beat that.
yeah. So every once in a while, I'll look at this and go, have you dropped in value? I'll check his Twitter feed and go, oh yeah, you totally dropped in value. You're barely valuable at all now.
Here's the Pete Rose signed baseball
Oh, that's cool.
right there that says, "Hey Brian, thanks for covering all the bases."
That's pretty cool though. That's pretty
Yeah.
cool. He gave those
But
out like
he's
candy.
kind of having trouble as well. Well, like you got to pay for that candy. It ain't free candy.
Yeah, that's true. This one says, Scott, say hi to Henry for me. So it was a reference to my World of Warcraft pet.
That's nice.
It was very nice until he kind of got weird.
He's been weird and recently weird too. All right.
Yeah.
I named this iPhone white back,
Mhm.
pill-shaped, like puffy pill-shaped white back iPhone. 2?
That
3?
is a
I don't know.
puffy-shaped white. That's still got a. There was never
Still 3?
there was never a 2, so they went because remember.
Oh,
they went,
right. That's right. They went right from the
Yeah, so that's got to be a 3G, and you probably got a 3GS upgrade, and then, then the 4 got flat.
That's probably it.
The 4 was metal.
And then again, shattered to crap.
Oh, jeez.
Shattered to crap iPhone.
You really have kept them all. I sold all of mine every time.
This was
I'd have
Tristan's, and I think we kept it as a reminder for him to take care of his crap.
them. Ah, that's a good idea.
I think it was like we're gonna hold on to this so we can show you what happens when you.
I sold my.
See what happens? You want to see what happens, Donnie?
I had the white back 3GS, and I signed it and drew a picture on it, and sold it on eBay for $1,000 to a German.
Shut up! Really?
A German? Yeah, that's how I did it. Not that the German part matters, but
right.
He was like, yes, the phone with the writing on it. I will pay $1,000.
So interesting. Were there a lot of bids?
There
like
was.
A lot of people
there was because I started it out at I don't know, 200 or something.
Yeah.
I thought maybe I'd get like 3 out of it or something. And this is back when probably the 5 was out. So this is me selling a 3 during the 5 era, and so it's still worth some money, and it's still workable or whatever. But it wasn't like very new. But anyway, this I don't know if he was a fan or what the deal was, but he ended up paying
$1,000
for $1,000
to this phone, and now have all of Scott Johnson's passwords.
Oh, he forgot to take out his SIM card. Yeah. I cleared that thing like a mother.
I'm sure, yeah.
Anyway, it made me want to do that every time, and then I kind of forgot about doing it. And now they do the whole trade-in thing, so it's like, I don't have a phone. Like the minute I get whatever the 12 is or whatever I end up doing, I have to give this one back because that's the deal. We're leasing it. You no longer own these phones.
Well, you don't know exactly.
Yeah,
do we own anything?
No.
Really? I mean, even food, you're just borrowing for a little while.
Right, I'm borrowing it for like 12 hours. And then you can have it back. All right.
Exactly.
Let's get to a thing here we got from Jeff Sire, our friend in the northern country of Canada, specifically Grafton, Ontario. Jeff writes in all the time. We know him as Bronco. Great guy. Been around forever. Always like to hear from Jeff. On that motorcycle Sturgis get-together thing.
Yeah.
That I think Brian secretly went to and got a cold from. Just kidding.
I'm allergic to leather. I'm allergic to leather softener products.
It'd be a long drive to, where is it, South Dakota? Yeah. How far is that from Colorado if you had to drive it? That's probably like a 20-hour trip. 10 hour?
I don't know. 16,
That's not
15
too bad.
hours? I don't know. It's not too bad.
Okay. It's a little more than Vegas for you, but not much.
Yes, but not much, yeah. And it would just be straight north.
And if you were going to choose...
a lot less, actually. 6 hours, 22 minutes.
Oh, geez. Okay. Hey, you should have gone to Sturgis.
It's way shorter up to Sturgis. I thought it'd be longer, but no, it's
next year, dude.
right? Yeah. Hell, I could ride my bike there. My bicycle.
Like
not
I said,
my motorcycle.
I wouldn't mind just seeing it once when in times that aren't COVID-y,
Yeah, of course.
I just want to see. I want to see the energy of what this thing is, but it also sounds like so crowded. I'd probably hate it. But anyway, he says this: Scott and Brian, just a note on your comments about the Sturgis Motorcycle Rally. I've never been to it because it's mostly exclusively a Harley Davidson thing. But before any of those Harley nuts ride in, no, they do not ban other bikes. However, I've been in South Dakota during Sturgis on my way to Alberta and had to endure a few hope y'all ain't thinking of going to Sturgis on that there ride-a-roni bike. Wow.
Rice-a-roni bike.
Oh, did I say ride?
Ride-a-roni.
Rice-a-roni. Yeah, rice-a-roni. Har, 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 he says. So, no, I'm not shocked that no one was wearing masks. If you did a Venn diagram of people who refused to wear masks and people attending Sturgis, the second circle would fit wholly within the first, he says. Anywho, yeah, we'll get some emails about that, but that'll all be for Jeff, not for us, for Jeff.
Jeff. Jeff's email is
Jeff at jeff.jeff. All right, here it is.
Right.
Anywho, you guys were right on the money with why anyone would want to go to a motorcycle rally. It's the very same reason why you would want to tell your non-geek friends to go to your local comic convention. The people watching at these events is the people watching at these events is unrivaled. As an example, at the Friday the 13th rally in Port Dover, Ontario, I saw a guy on a big cruiser with a full-length fur coat, wearing a helmet wearing a helmet with full-on Viking horns. That's pretty cool.
That's awesome.
His license plate said Pimpin', of course. There was also a 70-year-old man that was there every time I attended who only wore flip-flops and a Tarzan-type loincloth. The memories, Jeff Sire. So, motorcycle culture, it's got its perks and its quirks, and
it does.
we're not besmirching it. In fact, I think what prompted this email was I was saying, I like genuinely curious. I'd be curious to see it. I would like to see that culture in its full form.
And I'm going to go out on a limb and say 70-year-old old man that's probably what he wears year round.
Oh yeah,
The flip flops and a Tarzan style loincloth.
It's not as like his Sturgis or wherever this was, Ontario only event clothing. He wears it. He's wearing it now. Like right now, he's in it.
Yeah, he's wearing exactly. This is like I just happened to walk by. I'm on my way to Tim Hortons for a tall coffee and some Timbits.
Yeah, and of course he's on. He's Canadian, so he's probably wearing a.
A?
He's wearing a mask. Yeah, A. Don't forget the A.
A.
Anyway, that's very cool. Thank you for writing in North of the Wall, Jeff Sire. Also, a shout out to show listener and longtime community member Jessica Hips. Apparently, her dad is in the hospital. He's got shortness of breath and some other stuff. I saw this on the in our Tadpool on Facebook, and he's already dealing with cancer and some other stuff. So, anyway, she's super frustrated and nervous and scared and mad and all the stuff you feel when stuff like this happens. So. We're just thinking about you, Jessica. I don't know if you'll hear this or not, but we hope your dad is okay.
We are here for you. Support system.
Excuse me. I breathed in a little tea there. A little tea went down the wrong hole.
You're supposed to drink it, not inhale it.
Yeah, that was bad. All right. Moving on.
I had a lovely birthday dinner with the crazy neighbors last night. Had a great time.
Tell me more about this. Was there pot?
Yeah,
Was there drinking?
There was no pot. There was drinking. We downed a bottle of sake, which it's really not hard to do. Bottles of sake are not known for being like super high proof, alcohol proof.
Right.
So
what does it taste like? Can you give me a comparison that I would understand? Like, what is the taste of sake?
It depends on which kind you get. I actually prefer Nigori sake, which is unfiltered, and it's kind of like a sweeter, almost like a sweet milk almost.
Oh, weird. Okay.
But it has a little bit of an edge to it. And if you see it in, it's like non-transparent.
Oh, okay. That's what I was going to ask, if it's clear or what the deal is.
Yeah, it's unfiltered, so it's kind of. I mean, it's. I could say what it kind of looks like, but I'm not.
Oh, but, okay. I don't want to know. I have no desire to know what that looks like.
Okay, yeah. I mean, it looks like a thinner milk, but not quite as opaque as milk. Slightly less. Like a
skim, more transparent. Like a skim milk, somewhere between skim and 2%.
Let's say that. Okay. Yeah, let's say that. Let's call it that.
Yeah,
anyway,
let's call it that.
So we downed a bottle of that. Dave made a fantastic red curry. He asked me what I wanted, and I said, he's been like, he is Joe Gardner lately. They've got this amazing garden in their backyard, and they're just pulling all these vegetables out of it, giving us these giant zucchini and tomatoes and pea pods and stuff like that. And so I said, "Oh, how about like a curry? And like green curry would be great, or a red curry." And he's like, "Oh, I'll do a mix, and I'll put in a bunch of fresh vegetables in it, and threw in some scallops, some shrimp, and some lobster, and it was freaking amazing."
That sounds really good. I didn't know he had such a cooker's thumb, or however you say it.
He is a very, very talented chef. Like he missed his calling. He's like the CTO of a company that handles transactions, like credit card and school transactions, that sort of thing. They've kind of branched out, started out as school transactions. They've gone bigger, but he missed his calling by not being a chef, because he is really, really talented.
You called him Joe Gardner earlier. I knew a guy named Joe Gardner.
Did you know a Joe Gardner?
Yeah. In high school, he was a transfer from somewhere mid-year, junior year, and I just remember his name was Joe Gardner. So when you said that, I was like, whoa, Joe Gardner.
Funny. He's a real Joe Gardner.
Yeah.
Oh, really? So you just hang out on the jock blocks and razz desk nerds when we walk by?
Yeah. Old Joe Gardner.
Old Joe Gardner. I guess that's the thing. If you have a last name that is a profession, you do a disservice to your son by not naming him Joe, so that he could just be, there's Joe Butcher.
Yeah, no kidding. I don't even know.
He's a real Joe blacksmith.
He's a real Joe Cobbler. Joe Cobbler would be a good name. I like
Joe
that.
Cobbler.
Yeah.
There you go.
So do you? This just brought up a thought to me.
Yeah.
Like if I ever saw Joe Gardner,
yeah,
would I recognize him? I don't know if I would. Like if I just saw some random high school person in high school or in like a store, would I know? I mean, forget about masks for a minute, because then it's even harder.
Right. Well, that makes it even harder. But
Yeah.
no, I think
I don't think I would.
I think that we've gotten far enough away from high school time, because I looked at that you're using what looks like a early college.
Yeah, 92 is the year.
92 photo for your Twitter right now.
Yeah.
And I look at that and I'm like, if I saw this guy, would I say, oh, it's Scott Johnson? I mean, I might, but
Probably not, though, right?
probably not.
Yeah.
I mean, I think I certainly don't look like I looked in college or in high school. Little shaved on top compared to the luscious locks that I had back in the mid to late 80s.
Yeah, only a little different. Yeah, there it is, chat room. So yeah, like that, my 20, whatever it'd have been then, 20, let's see, 92, I'd have been 22, 23. It's a different human being as far as I'm concerned. Like that, that dude right there, which is partly why I put it up, is I was like, well, this is just as weird as putting a cartoon up. It doesn't even look like me anymore.
Right. So I need to find that photo. I think I sent it to you, the one of me, very dramatic looking at the camera, holding a paintbrush and a palette or something.
Yeah, I love that one. That's one of my favorite things.
So serious with my mullet, with my frosted tips freaking mullet.
You were so like, I'm here to paint. Show me the canvas. Like, it's just such This is. I talked about the guy yesterday, that my college roommate, who was a photographer at the Art Institute as well. He needed to take a portrait for his class, and he needed it to be a serious, dramatic portrait. So that image of me is so unlike how I've always been. As you know, as I know. It's rare for me not to have a big goofy smile on my face or it's who you are.
Silly.
Yeah,
it's who I am. So for me, like for him to say, all right, well, I'm going to do a portrait and I'm going to like capture a dramatic side of you. I'm like, okay, whatever. I'll just sit here with my paintbrush and my palette and look really serious at the camera.
Yeah. It's good. If we had it on hand right now, I'd show the chat again, because it's great. But Brian doesn't have a problem posting that once in a while. It's fine.
Oh God, no, I don't have any problem with any of that stuff. Yeah. It's all out there.
Yeah,
out there.
Let your freak frag. Let your freak frag fry.
Your fleek frag fry.
Yeah, that's
you kind of got to be careful sometimes, because it's
you can go
like doing the name game with the name Chuck. You don't know until you're just about to say it. I'm saying something wrong. Stop. Abort.
Yeah, it's you get into some territory that there's no coming back from. So
Leninade 2020 says, Scott, do you think you would be friends with Coverville if you went to the same high school?
Oh, guaranteed. Mm-hmm. We have too much in common. I think we would have nerded
Scott
out.
might be friends with me. I don't think I'd be friends with him.
Yeah, you're asking. Yeah, if you're asking from me, I would be here I am in high school chat room. You can see this nice shot of me here.
Yeah, we totally would have been friends. We would,
Yeah, we would have hung out. We would have probably. I probably would have been way more into Marvel. Than I am now, because Brian would have been an influence.
Because of
in
my
that
influence,
regard.
I'm like, dude, DC sucks.
Yeah, I probably would have got you to play, I don't know, D&D or something with me.
Yep, probably.
Or
exactly.
Hang out at my house and play in television or something stupid. Like that would have been. But yeah, I've always said this. Like if I knew you and Tom and a couple other people like right around our age, totally we would have gravitated, because we were all freaking nerds who love nerd shit.
Yep.
Like we were into it and we were ready to roll, and we needed friends to roll with us. So why not?
Yep.
Chat room.
No doubt.
Here's me in the mid-70s listening to a reel-to-reel tape player, and I'm pretty sure I'm listening to the Beatles there. Pretty sure.
Wow.
Yeah, because that was cool. It wasn't cool. I was a nerd from day one. Anyway, all right.
Anyway, there we go. Memory lane.
Memory lane, everybody. Now, not Penny Lane. That's an actual Beatles song. Let's do this. Let's go here. And do the news, which is brought to you by
The TMS Film Festival. Give us your own ending explained, 10 things you missed, or trailer reaction video, just like all those people on YouTube do it. And get it to us by September 14th for a chance at a big prize package.
Indeed.
We'll give out many, many prizes, I think, for this. I think, we'll have one big prize, but I bet you we're going to give out some Steam games for runners-up and things like that, because we do have a pretty good prize closet.
Oh, we should do a blowout and just get rid of some stuff,
I think somebody's going to get a copy of Logan on Voodoo or whatever it is. What's the thing that we had lasted 3 or 4?
Yeah, that went forever. Was it Logan? It was Logan.
Was it? I think it was Logan.
Yeah.
It was.
That was a long Logan run.
Oh, well, we're done. Thanks, everybody.
Jeez, what a horrible joke that was. Anyway,
Nicely played.
Yeah.
Anyway, so September 14th, get us your videos.
Yes, and we'll have, like I promised today, sometime I'll have a form to submit it up on the site. So you'll go to frogpants.com/TMS, and there'll be a big thing that says TMS Film Festival. Submit here, and you'll be able to go for it. Okay? All right.
Okay.
We're going to start with this story. A Tennessee woman renews her license online, but her ID arrived with a picture of an empty chair. It's a weird thing to have happen.
That is a weird thing, especially when you renew it online, because
Yeah.
they usually just keep the same photo. That reminds me.
Oh, yeah. How you doing on yours? You're not...
No, I'm overdue. This expires on
I don't have my wallet.
a week ago.
Oh, no.
Expires 11 days ago. Expired.
So when I did that, I think I had to go back to a DMV and do the whole rigmarole. Do you not have to do that?
God, I might. Who wants to go to the DMV during COVID,
Nobody.
man?
Nobody wants to go there in the best of times.
Oh.
Nobody wants to go. And you can't count on the mail anymore because, the mail's getting jacked up right now.
Yeah. I guess while we're playing the first song, I'm going to be looking to see what I need to do to renew my driver's license.
Yeah. No kidding. All right. Well, this Tennessee woman, she did this, and it was a real bummer for her because this thing came in, and I'm showing the photo to the chat right now. There's this photo of her Tennessee driver's license, got all her correct information, all the data about what she needs to do, blah, blah, blah. Mm-hmm. But her her photo is a chair. With nobody in it.
Just an empty chair.
Yeah. Why would they do that? That's so weird. Maybe she's like she's having her own Back to the Future moment or something.
Maybe. Oh, right. Maybe her parents never met.
Yeah.
In this.
While it was in the mail, it was fading. It was half faded during the mail, but now that she's gotten it, she's totally faded out.
I have a question.
Yeah. Yeah.
Why does the Tennessee driver's license have a skyline that looks like Vegas? Why is there a pyramid?
Oh.
Is there a pyramid in Tennessee somewhere?
Hold on a second. You're right. That's Vegas high. Look. There's
a pyramid in Memphis. There's a Memphis pyramid. Okay.
There is.
That's funny because it almost looks like. I mean, it's not the stratosphere because it's a ball on top of a tower, but
right. But those other ones kind of look like the Wynn or something in the middle.
Totally
there.
Looks like the Wynn and the Bellagio.
Yeah.
And the Luxor. Tennessee. We'd like to make ourselves look better than we are.
With the next Vegas. Are there really?
Don't we look fun?
I mean, Memphis is the name. Memphis is an ancient Egyptian place, right? Memphis is was taken from a right. Do I have that right?
I don't know. That I've never heard of. I've never heard of the term Memphis.
Egypt. I want to say I played a video game once where. Oh yeah, totally. Oh, you know what it was? It was a couple years ago. The Assassin's Creed Origins was all about ancient Egypt, and you hung out in Memphis a ton.
Okay.
And we just use it so much and think of it as Tennessee here that we don't even think about it as a thing that came from somewhere else, kind of like New York and came from Old York and all that. Mm-hmm. But Memphis was an ancient city in Egypt. And that's probably why they got some pyramid out there. Then is my thing.
Did not remember that. I guess so. Yeah, there we go. The city, its structure plays on the city's namesake in Egypt, known for its ancient pyramids.
There you go.
Good job, Scott Johnson.
Well,
currently being occupied as a Bass Pro Shop megastore.
Oh, you can't take the Tennessee out of it, though. It's like I used to say about.
I love that. Yeah.
I used to say this about Kim. You can take the girl out of the South, but you can't take the South out of the girl. That's what I was saying.
When you go in there and you ask for help, it's such a visual joke, but I got to do it anyway.
Do it.
So, could you tell me where the fishing poles are? Yes, they're right there.
All right. For those at home, Brian is doing a ancient Egypt sort of wall hieroglyphic.
Doing the walk like an Egyptian dance.
It's perfect. I've never been. My son and my wife went on a trip to Tennessee because he wanted to see his favorite YouTuber at the time. Mm-hmm. This was years ago, and they loved it there. And Kim was born in Memphis, but then shortly after that, they moved to Mississippi. So we got a little Memphis in our blood, a little bit.
Well, that's cool.
Maybe one day I'll get out there and see people when things are not so weird.
I've been there myself. I want to say that the Tennessean newspaper, the Banner, Tennessean and the Banner.
Yeah.
Were there, and I did installations there, and then went for a second visit for training to train them. And that first visit was while Tina was pregnant, so I can tell you it was 1996 would have been the year we went there.
Fetal Tristan,
and we went because it was like we hit a whole bunch of them. I hit the Elizabethtown Register maybe, and then we went to Dollywood, and Tina rode a ride she shouldn't have ridden because she was pregnant, but she really wanted to ride the log flume.
Oh,
the Dollywood log flume.
I didn't know they had rides at Dollywood. What?
Oh God, yes.
Okay, well now, I knew about Memphis. You know about this. Tell me about this.
There's a roller coaster with two really big hills on it.
They call it the Cleave. No, hold on. What? So like full-on roller coasters and stuff.
Full-on roller coasters and rides. I mean, it's probably got like a third or half of the rides of a normal amusement park, right? Because it's also a mix of educational and historical stuff about Dolly's life. They've got in the middle of the park, they've got a replica, might even actually be the actual log cabin that Dolly grew up in.
Oh, did
they moved
it
log by log into the middle of Dollywood.
So everyone in the chat is acting freaked out that I don't know this, and they're saying that's the whole point of Dollywood. I always thought it was just like it's like it's got
kind of like Opryland, right? You're visualizing an Opryland kind of thing,
or Graceland even, like where it's like, oh, here's where Elvis lived. There aren't rides in Graceland.
Actually, Opryland has rides too. Oh, Graceland. That's a good comparison. There you go.
Yeah,
Graceland.
That's what I thought it was. It was like just a tribute to Dolly Parton, and maybe she'd show up once in a while, but it wasn't like a freaking theme park. I had no idea.
Yeah, it's a theme park, not a full-on theme park. Oh, it's just a replica, says Amish Overlord. Bummer.
Oh, of the log
you think
cabin.
that they could easily? She's got the money to move the entire log cabin from its initial place.
Well, if I had to bet, I'll bet it's gone. It was gone before they could ever do anything.
Maybe. Yeah, it could be.
She lived there.
They've got some zoo stuff. I remember there being a section of raptor rehabilitation birds, like they're.
It was like raptor.
They're rehabilitating velociraptors at Dollywood.
Well, someone's got to take care of those things. Come on.
Oh, she's a clever girl.
That's right. This one's called Jolene, and I just love her. She's just the best. Jolene the velociraptor. Yeah. Anyway, this poor lady. So Jane Dodd is her name, by the way.
Empty. Yeah, there we go.
She's 25. She has an empty chair. That's the bottom line. That's the full story, and that's all I'm going to give you. Here's one about Mississippi. We're in the South today, so we'll stay there. Mississippi rejects, because they're getting a new state flag. They're getting rid of the Union Jack thing, or not Union Jack, the rebel flag corner.
Right. Yep.
Because they got just the corner, and then they got the rest of the flag, and the corner is.
Oh, right. The Confederate flag is like the top quarter of it. Yeah.
Yeah. And Mississippi's like, we probably should change it. This is weird. It's 2020. Let's get rid of this thing. Mm-hmm. So they're doing that, and then they've had all these submissions on what to do, and they have just rejected a flag featuring a giant mosquito, even though it's pretty appropriate, having lived there for a couple years. They got the big bugs. So I think it's actually a pretty good call to have that on the flag. But nope, they say you can't have a huge mosquito on your state flag. Partly because it's scary as hell.
That's too bad.
It's scary.
Yeah.
Look at this thing. Oh, I don't have it up.
Hold on,
Shoot.
let me find the link.
You got to see this thing. It's just
Oh, wow. That's hilarious. It's just a mosquito with a bunch of stars around it.
yeah, and it's scary. It's a scary mosquito, right? Like you don't want that
That's
as
hilarious.
your flag. That can't be your flag.
You, I can't imagine this would have skated by you, but the new name for the Washington Redskins.
Oh no, is it the potatoes? Is that the deal?
No.
Oh,
Oh, you're in for a treat. The new name of the Washington Redskins, Scott,
Wait.
is the
this happened?
Washington football team.
Shut up.
It is the Washington football team.
This didn't really happen, did it? Are you making this
really
up?
happened. When I heard about this, I thought, okay, this is totally like an Onion article or something. But no, it's the Washington football team. It's apparently it is a placeholder name, but for this season, they're going to be the Washington football team.
All right, I'm trying to imagine a game where you got guys up in the booth calling it. Yeah, it's Chris Cooley coming out for the Washington football team. That's terrible. That's terrible. Oh, wow.
It's good there won't be people in the stands because they'd be chanting, "Go football team!"
Yeah, go team, I guess you could say.
I know it's just temporary. I've said that a bunch of times. It is just a temporary name, but it's a hilarious temporary name.
That's really weird. Okay, I didn't know this happened. What's their? Oh, their logo is just
It's a W.
Yeah.
with kind of half serifs on it.
Are they gonna make
You know
helmets
what, you know what their logo is?
What?
It's this.
Yeah. Fine.
It's for those of you listening. It's me shrugging my shoulders with
Yeah.
my hands up in
It's
the
like
air.
fine. We'll change the name. That's the logo right there. Are they gonna put a big W on their heads and everything? Like redo all their
Oh, I don't know the helmets. Yeah, they'll have to, right?
Yeah, why aren't they? You know what? I know it's
Oh,
temporary.
their helmets will just have the numbers on them.
Okay, so they're good, but they are going through the trouble of not having the logo on the existing helmets. They're gonna have new helmets no matter what.
Yes.
because they're not gonna have the
Yes.
Indian on there. Okay.
Right. So I mean, they're it's basically just like we haven't decided on a new team name. We just want to get the potentially sensitive stuff off of this, which is kind of funny because according to one article I saw, the Washington Redskins name was blessed by the Native American community.
Oh, was it?
Yeah, or not blessed, but approved or done with the permission.
Really? Is that true?
Yeah.
Never heard that. Here's my take. For the first time in the history of the controversy, I think both sides of this issue, whether you were for keeping it Redskins and just hunkering down, or you were all about changing it, all of those people can agree together for once on one thing, and that is that's a stupid temporary name.
Yeah, but I mean, it's
I mean, it's so dumb,
know.
dude. It's so dumb. You could have said like, I don't know, like just, and they'll do this in games. They'll just call them Washington while they're playing. Right?
But this is kind of I mean, it's a bummer that they couldn't come up with something in the time that they were given, right? A better replacement. This is basically just saying, we got games we got to play. Let's just get the old thing off of there. For one season, we'll be the Washington football team, and we'll just go with that. But that means twice now they're going to have to change equipment and banners and branding and all that stuff.
Yeah. Well, if you, what would you have done if this was your choice and you're like, hey, Brian Ibbett, we would like you to name the Washington Redskins for their new name. What would you
Well,
choose?
we obviously would have we had a lot of time. We knew this was, this was potentially an insensitive, politically incorrect name for a while. So,
Yeah, for decades.
what would I change it to?
Yeah,
Jeez.
for decades. That's the other thing is they've had a
Yeah.
long time to think about it. So what would you do?
Gosh.
I mean, I actually didn't hate the idea of a red russet potato.
A jacket potato.
Yeah, just peeling. Kind of like a potato on your helmet, just with a little bit of the peel coming off, and just keep it Redskins.
Right.
And then you're good, right?
I don't know. I like team names that are of a thing that you can that you can describe with a mascot costume, as opposed to like the Washington Fighters, and it just be, the mascot would be a dude who looks like he's fighting.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. Like something
give
specific.
me a Buccaneer or a
Wolverines, the Washington Wolverines.
Right, exactly. Or a Falcon or an Oriole. I know what those things look like.
I know everybody wants to make it a political name, but I don't think they need to, because it's Washington, who cares?
No.
Do like
what's an animal that like a bird, or an animal that's kind of
does it need to be alliterative though? Does it have to be like a WW, do you think, or we can go a different way?
Oh, we can go a different way.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because like St. Louis Cardinals.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, we've already got an Eagles. Otherwise, Washington Eagles would be a great one, because
Eagles
it's
would be
patriotic, but it's we've got one of those already.
Philadelphia is a good place for Eagles too, because of their history.
Mm-hmm.
All right,
Washington Evergreens is pretty good. The Evergreens.
That'd be a guy walking around in a tree costume.
Is going to be a tree costume? Yeah, never mind that one. The
Yeah,
Washington. What's another like Hawk? We don't have a Hawk football team.
Hunter Filing Shadow says the Washington Spray Tan. Perfect. Perfect.
The Washington Stoplights.
Yeah. Oh, the Washington
Washington
Stoplights.
Construction.
Yeah. There you go. Washington Traffic. You call them the Traffic.
Oh, that's right. That's right. We do have the Seahawks. What am I thinking? Of course, we do have a Hawk.
We don't have any more though, do they? Are they still? There's no Seahawks anymore, right?
What? Why wouldn't there be?
Seattle doesn't have a team anymore, do they? Am I wrong? What am I thinking of? Hold on.
I don't know what you're thinking of. Are you thinking of?
Oh, I'm thinking of. No. You know what it is? I watched that basketball documentary. I'm thinking of the Supersonics. They're not there anymore.
Oh, yes, right. Okay.
Yeah, they disappeared.
Like,
They're literally
what
gone.
happened?
Yeah, I was freaking out for a second. Got my basketball mixed with my football.
The Washington Machines, or the Washing Machines.
The Washing Machines.
Oh, geez.
The wigs for the old wig party. I like that. Plus
the Washington Wigs, but people would constantly misspell it.
Yeah, that's true, because it's two G's, right? Wasn't it two
You know what?
Gs?
Now that I'm thinking about it, yeah, they did the right thing. Washington football team.
Maybe we've just experienced why they settled on that for a temporary name. We may have just figured it out.
I mean, they're just as flummoxed by this whole situation as we are, apparently.
Yeah. They should call themselves the Washington Browns. And then lose.
Right,
lose.
we need more teams that are just named after a color.
Yeah. Just make Cleveland mad, change it to Browns. Done. All right, we're going to take a break. When we come back. This giant mosquito didn't make the cut. That was the point of that story.
Right.
We're now going to take a break. When we come back, Wendy will be here. It's my sister. She's got stuff to say. We got things to talk about. That'll all happen, but only before we play this song. Or after, I guess. Brian, what are we playing?
Yes, we're going to Cambridgeshire.
You're looking at a small portable computer called the IBM 5100. It's helping a lot of different people do their work more productively. It weighs about 50 pounds. You can plug it in anywhere.
What are you talking about chicken nuggets? I did not tell you anything about chicken nuggets.
Check between the sausage and the bun. This is the morning stream.
And we're back, everybody. Welcome back. Yeah, I did get some Oasis vibes.
Some Oasis vibe.
Yeah. Chat room was having lots of discussion about all the different kinds of bands that felt like an amalgam of, but I liked it. It was
Jane's
very good.
Addiction came up in there. Bob Dylan mentioned the people talking about it are the only ones talking or not talking about other ideas for Washington team names.
Yeah, that's still going. Still got a controversial thing. Yeah.
Washington Wikipedia's is currently the winner.
Perfect. Not always.
By the way, I'm just about done renewing my driver's license.
Oh, good. You can do it all online. That's fantastic.
All online, and you can do it all online during the length of time of a Mojo Slide song called "Not in My Name."
There you go. That's awesome. Well done. Yeah. All right, we got to play this now.
Everyone knows it's Wendy.
Blah, 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 blah.
Wendy, my sister, is here for Therapy Thursday. Hello, Wendy. How the heck are you? Oh,
I'm good. I'm good. How are you guys?
Oh, we're fine.
We're good.
We're doing fine. Did you hear about the renaming of the Washington Redskins?
I didn't. What did they pick?
They're doing a temporary name. They're called the Washington Football Team, And that's true, by the way.
That's hilarious.
I just learned this myself. Brian knew about it, and I cannot believe it. That's just mind blowing. But they're doing it.
I really want a T-shirt or like a jersey or something that says Washington Football Team.
Yeah, I think that'd be great. Hey, also, you're a person of the '90s. You remember the '90s, right?
Very well, yes.
Okay.
Hey, remember the '90s?
Remember the '90s? Well, now you too can own a part of the. No, I'm not selling anything. You got to watch that Last Dance documentary on Netflix. Like, oh my
Finished
gosh.
it last night.
Oh, did you?
Oh, wow, funny.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't you just get all the stuff just comes rushing back? It's back when we cared about basketball and the Jazz were going to win stuff, and it was just like such a big deal, and the Bulls were this huge obstacle, and I don't know, man. It was like the peak of everything. And everyone's sick of me talking about this, but that is the greatest documentary I've seen in years. It's so good.
So, okay, I don't know if you know this, but one of my good friends is good friends with Michael Jordan. Is that the craziest thing you've ever heard?
Yes, it is
that
crazy.
I could know someone who knows him. And they, during they have the relationship with him where they're texting him while watching.
That's the kind of relationship they have where they can like do it
Isn't
live.
that crazy? Anyway, so this person is a mega Jazz fan.
Yeah.
And watching it, she got furious and had to leave. Like she couldn't, it was like rewatching 20 years come crashing back.
Yeah.
And so they texted him and said, she's still mad. And Michael Jordan wrote back and said, sorry, not sorry.
Yeah, if there's one.
Here's the thing. It's so fascinating to watch him like that level of a competitor. I mean,
it's
anyway,
unbelievable.
Turns out though, he was actually worried how everyone would perceive it because he said he didn't want it to make people feel bad because it did make a few people feel bad. It also made him look bad in some ways, more well-rounded anyway.
Yeah. Well, I think it just broke down the image everybody had, and I'm 100% okay with that. My big takeaway was a couple of fold. It was like to win at the level he was winning. Of course, it's this kind of competitiveness. Of course, it's this intense and this take no prisoners, do whatever it takes. Like, of course, like that was always true. But we were always given a different image of like, he's just a nice guy with a big smile. He just happens to be like godlike on the court. But, bears, McDonald's and Nike and, like we had this very different image of him. So it's easy to come away from that thing being mad at him or feeling like he was kind of a jerk. And by some definitions, he was jerky, but it was always feeding that end game, right? That end result of let's win this game, let's win this championship, let's not half do this. It was
like
always.
I loved when he like made up something in his head that someone.
Oh
did
yeah, I just
so
saw that
use
one.
It, energy.
Yeah, it was so great. That poor guy too. He just reamed him the next game, but he needed the. He needed the
needed a thing. And as we watched it, we watched it with Abe, and Abe's like, he kept just pointing this out every once in a while. Like, it's been 20 years and you'd think the thing happened this morning.
Yeah.
Like his response as he's talking about it, just like,
it's still
like he still hates Isaiah Thomas with his whole soul.
Yeah. That is it. The Isaiah Thomas Jordan rift is intense, and it's still intense. And man, I just loved it. And the other thing I came away from is he's also vulnerable, right? The stuff about his dad, at one point he was just talking about how the reason he was so hard on his teammates is because we wanted to win. And if you're not here to win, then what are you doing? And he got talking about it and ended up having to take a break because he got all teary-eyed about it. But he was just talking about why he was so hard on everybody. So it's obvious that he doesn't want to be seen as just like some freak monster. I just was fascinated by it. Just couldn't get enough.
It was great. It did make Utah look like a cesspool of blonde idiots.
Yeah, a little bit. A little bit.
Like, did they poison his pizza? I mean, come on.
That whole remember that? Oh my gosh, the pizza thing. Because he played that
here's
one
what's
night.
Great.
Yeah.
It's great watching it because you're like, there's not a single phone in anyone's hand filming anything.
I know.
There is no, like, we would have known all of this in such a different way back then.
Yeah.
And like, there's something about that. I also wish, like, my kid, I was raised many levels in his eyes because I knew every single player by face.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And I'm like, oh, it's Clyde Drexler. And he's like, who? And he goes, Mom, hey, maybe like in 2020 you could learn a few of their names so we could have fun now. And I'm like, it's not the same.
Yeah, it's not
the
same.
the 90s.
No, there was something
It's
about the
frozen in
90s
time.
and all those guys, all those faces. It's just something else. Anyway, I've talked about this all week, so I know people are sick of it. But if you haven't seen The Last Dance, it's on Netflix. It's bingeable. It's great. It's amazing. And we gave Brian a moment to go pee or whatever he did. So he's back.
Do what you got to do, Brian, because we could talk about The Last Dance all
we
day.
could talk all day. But Brian's back.
Look at that.
So, yeah,
wow,
well done.
see, I took the exact right amount of time. Hey, Flomax, everybody. I'm peeing like a toddler
Yep,
again.
there you go. How's that working? Is it working? I mean, not that you have to get into it. Okay, great. Flomax.
Yeah.
Flomax, everybody.
Flomax, man.
Maximum flow. It's right there in the name.
It says it right there in the name.
That's right. All right. Enough about 90s basketball. Let's do a thing. We got an email from somebody, and it's kind of a sad one given the topic, but also it is a thing of our day that we're all sort of experiencing right now. And if my guess is we're not done with this sort of stuff. So anyway, a very personal story from a listener. They wanted to go by the name MJ, which is too funny because we were just talking about Michael Jackson or Jordan. But this is not the.
Wait, before you start, can I just say how much I loved Reggie Miller calling him the Black Cat?
Oh yeah, that was
just
great.
brought me so much joy.
That was great. I'd forgotten about Reggie Miller until they showed him.
Oh,
all right, I'm gonna
amazing.
go pee.
Brian's gonna go pee.
Sorry.
Oh, you know what though? One last thing. It just reminded me. It got so much more personal about Rodman in a way that I needed. I needed that.
I loved Rodman.
I did
Did
too.
you want more episodes about Rodman?
I
needed
did.
a whole nother episode.
There was a really great full length. I got kind of teary in the Rodman episode. Like he's a psycho and he's messed up and he's all those things, but there's something there that's just it's undeniable. It's so good. All right. Anyway, moving on. And Phil Jackson, I want to eat lunch with Phil Jackson so I can just have a chill day.
Oh, me too.
Anyway.
Dude.
All right, moving on. Here's how the email starts from this person. My wife, age 29, and I, 31, opened a bakery in 2018. We were excited and determined to make our way through our new business in the small town we both grew up in. Sounds awesome. Sounds idyllic. I love this. Mm-hmm. First year was met with terrible hardship due to the fires that plagued the area only 2 months after we opened. Needless to say, sales were very bad due to no tourism or people wanting to be out ready to evacuate at a moment's notice. That was during the fires. After that, we had a very bad snow season, so winter tourism for winter sports was non-existent. Following those hardships and pushing through it, we came to COVID-19, and it has all but killed the food industry in our area. Why I am writing in, my wife and I have made the decision to close our doors in 2 weeks. The stress and hardship it has taken its toll on us physically and mentally and has pushed us to our breaking point. We both are very mentally taxed, and I can say I feel that I have lost some of my sanity during all of this, and my wife says the same thing from her perspective. I can say that we worked harder than we've ever worked before in our lives. We gave it everything, and it has felt like the universe was against us at every step. The community and support we have been given has been extremely amazing, so much so that our bakery was still making money, and we are able to, and we are by no means in the red. We took a hard look at our books and figured it'd be better to end on a good note than watch us suffer and go into greater debt. We can probably break close to even and only take a small loss on the entire business. It is just hard to let what we feel is the community down. Here is the real reason we were writing in. My wife and I went all in on this, and I have been taxed so hard that we are very burned out. We're not sure what our next step is. We'll be able to, gosh dang it. We are not sure our next step will be after. I think he means what will it be after we finish closing and selling all the last of the tasks for closing a business. Oh, settling. You know, if Scott could read, it'd be great. My eye's still not good.
Goopy eye. Goopy eye.
We're blaming it on the eye. Got an infection. All right. We're not sure where to go or what to do during this current state of affairs. My wife and I have traveled quite a lot. Now we are unsure how or when we'll be able to travel again. We need to find jobs in a trying time. Just looking for some advice and wondering how to deal with the guilt, depression, and general sadness we have been feeling. Thank you for everything you do. Everyone involved with Frog Pants, Film Sack, Core, Boop, and of course TMS have been keeping my wife and I sane through everything. Love the show, though, MJ. Okay. Aww. So this jumped out at me for a couple of reasons. One, someone in our community going through a thing, and it's hard, and it'd be good if we could help them. But also, it just feels emblematic of probably a whole lot of people right now, or about to be, because we're living through a time where where stimulus packages are slow as dirt at the moment. and they're not any closer to an agreement on what the next wave should be, and things are rough, and it's all the stuff kind of culminates to the point that small business owners like these folks are getting screwed. So where do you want to start with this one?
Yeah, tough. That is tough. And a big part of it is like timing. There's just nothing they could have done about everything that happened, right? Fires, like, okay, you can't predict that. And then a world pandemic, you can't predict that. And you picked a business that is just such a tricky one. All food industry. I was listening to a report, like restaurants, a lot have been able to manage through takeout for a while, but it's months and months and months of takeout, right? That's you're losing a percentage of everything every month. And then also, just restaurants can't make it, and they're not meant to be takeout. And I don't know if you've had this experience where you go get some food and you're like, this doesn't taste good. It's supposed to be inside a building with good lighting.
Right. I need my Diet Coke refilled when it's halfway down.
I need I don't know. There's something about the
Another
ambiance.
order, chips and salsa. Yeah.
Totally. And so for sure you're spending less money than you would normally. And anyway, so it's an industry that's really tricky. And it sounds like, they've made a decision and they're deciding to go out without, having everything drained. And I think that's probably a good decision. But and he's alluding to this. I think he may already have a sense of what the thing is that he needs to do. And that is really got to grieve the loss of this, because it's you gave everything, and to the point of, kind of total burnout and losing your mind a little bit. Like that's some real sacrifice, and then to have it just be done is going to be tricky, right? It's going to be both a relief on one hand, maybe, and then also, you've got to move on after that. So in between, and we've talked about grief before, and funerals, and if it's not actually the death of a person, we have to figure out how to create a ritual around loss in order to find some closure and to give it its due. A funeral forces us to wear black and sit quietly for an hour, or whatever.
Be pensive and
kind of give it. You can avoid it and stuff it and try all those things while you're at the funeral, sure. But there's something about collective grieving that is helpful for us as individuals to grieve. Now, obviously, we can't even do those kinds of funerals anymore. Anyway, so it's a lot of the process that we go through is sort of messed with, and so especially when there is not a death, but there is a death of your bakery, of your dream, of all of that effort and time and work and love, that there needs to be some type of closure and funeral. And it's not that it can be done in that one event. That's what's hard is, we wish the funeral worked and did all of its magic, but at least it gives some attention. And that's kind of the key. So, I really would recommend that they figure out some way. Okay. I'm sorry to bring up The Last Dance, but how Phil Jackson at the end has them all gather, and fire is a powerful thing. And has them all read something and share something about being on that team together. And Michael Jordan wrote a poem, and then they put all the papers they had written on into a coffee can and lit it on fire and had a moment of silence. Like, Phil Jackson knows something about funerals, and he held one for the closure of something that you could say was all good, but you still need to do it. You need to find a way to mark the end of something. And when it's very complicated and painful and you're exhausted, this is where maybe involving the community might be a good idea. Some way of those who know and love you can help participate in seeing that grief for what it is. Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's a good point. Like, we like to, if somebody's doing something cool in their life, we like to bring it up on the show. And if somebody's going through something hard, we like to, bring it up on the show to kind of create some shared whatever. But in the case of these folks, the hardest part I would be looking at here would be you've got this thing you put your heart and soul into, and all your money into, and all your plans and your future and everything, right? You had this idea and you were going to do it, and you pulled the trigger and it looked like it was going to go okay. And then now, for reasons you can't actually control, and because your industry just has no runway unless you're a fast food giant or something that just don't, you just can't last forever in the way things are going, they're now being asked to start over, basically, right? Mm-hmm. And that's a hard culture to integrate into yourself, that it's okay to do that. Like if Frog Pants just failed tomorrow and just all came crashing around me for some reason, it would be really hard for me to go, well, all right, well, let's just pick up the pieces and move on to the next phase. It's like,
let's go see if the Hilton is hiring.
Right. So
right.
It's not like you can do it. Obviously people do it. And I've always admired people who see defeat, but then see possibilities in it and go, oh, well, this may have happened, but look at this other stuff we can do now, or, whatever, like there's a new lease on life or a new chance or a new whatever. And that's, I think, probably a healthy thing to have, or maybe it isn't. I don't know, but I don't have it very much, and I can only imagine they're feeling that. So, how do you get the energy and the mental capacity to want to strive for a new era? You know what I mean? I don't know. Like, part of me would I just want to lay on the couch and I'm not going to move for the next 3 weeks, sort of thing, is what I would be feeling right now.
Yeah. How long ago did this email come in? Have they already closed, or is this still within the 2 weeks?
It's still within the 2 weeks. We just got it. So
cool. So that I love the idea of maybe having the community, like putting some signs in the window saying, come to our, I mean, you want to call it a bakery funeral, but like something, have a little fun with it, get the community in there, have cupcakes with black frosting.
I like this idea. This is good.
Yeah. And treat it like a, everybody has to wear a mask, stay 6 feet apart.
Yeah.
That sort of thing, but still have it like some sort of event that brings the community together to say, we want to thank you for all of your support. A wakery, call it a wakery. Like a bakery wake.
Yeah, a wakery. So that's not bad. Maybe, and this is the thing, like Brian having these ideas, it's almost like they can't, with the shroud they're living in, they can't think of this in any sort of fun way or creative way or any of that.
Yeah.
So sometimes it takes an outside voice to say, well, you could do, that's hard too, right? Because then it's also,
because it's still, it's still a close, but instead of the close being this looming thing, they have a thing to look forward to of getting the community together and having one last kind of blowout big, bake chocolate cakes with tombstones on it or something, or black frosted cupcakes, things like that, and just celebrate the community support that they got, as opposed to mourning the success that they missed out on because of COVID.
Right. Someone in the Dr. Tolbert says, celebrate the good and mourn the loss.
Yeah, exactly.
Just like a real funeral. So
yeah.
Yeah.
And have maybe there's people that are just enough removed that can do the heavy lifting, right? Just think about like an actual funeral. You're not going to do all the work when you are the widow. You can't.
Right.
Right. And so to rally the troops and maybe just make them listen to this podcast, and then they'll decide they got to do something about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's that. You will at least have a send off, and there'll be some relief from some of this grief, and yet you still have to grieve it. I mean, it takes people a solid year of maybe being in a cloud. It's not as fast as we think it is, and especially when it's not a person, we don't have the built-in. People aren't like, oh well, he's grieving. They'll be like, well, go find another job. People aren't great at supporting in this, but there are people who will be and can be. And so you may have to reach out to them and ask them for some help.
Yeah.
Which may be hard. Maybe that's not in your natural wheelhouse to ask people for help. But to create some kind of collaboration with the community to say goodbye, I think would mean something to them too. I think people are grieving. Everyone's grieving something right now. It is 100% universal, which, it's very rare in history that happens. And so I think people would love to step up and do something. Everyone just wants to be able to do something to help someone.
Mm-hmm.
So, even if it's to end the bakery in a way that helps serve you, they'd love to be a part of that. So I like the wakery idea. I think it's great.
Yeah, it's actually a really great name, even like just have a wakery. And if, there could be a situation where you don't live around family, or you've been so busy that you haven't had much of a social life to build out what friends you would trust with this kind of support or that sort of thing. And if that's the case, I don't know, that's where the internet can be cool, because, there's a lot of us, and there are people in this community that would totally have your back and would help you with this sort of thing. But, having that personal on the ground sort of support system is really important. And so sometimes you just don't have it. And so I don't know their situation, but I hope that they can find some of that around them.
Well, and I say this, the value of having on purpose grieving is that you're then closer to be able to do the stuff that is going to be required of you, right? Like they have to go find jobs and a career and life, and it moves on.
Right.
And so how to do that when you're super weighed down it's nearly impossible sometimes. And so you have to do certain things in order to free yourself up emotionally and psychologically, especially after burnout, right? So it's not simply just, oh, this is sad that this ended. It's, they're beginning a business and being hit left and right. They've got to be exhausted.
Yeah.
And so how to push through is and move on to the next thing would be pretty tough. So to make sure you give yourself some time, if you can, to process before you attempt to do something that's pretty tough.
They're probably feeling too, like they're 29 and 31. They are going to feel like they're old and that this is late to now start a new phase. 100% that is not true. Like you are young and rocking it, and it sounds like maybe no kids yet. So, you've got some freedoms that you wouldn't have normally if you also had some little ones to worry about, at least not yet. And so you can do so much more than you think. Like I remember being 29 or 30 and going, oh, that's it then. I'm old. And everybody else who was going to make it made it by now. If I didn't make it in my 20s, what am I good for? And like everything in my life.
The biggest lie of the 20s.
It's the biggest lie. It's the biggest lie. And they all tell it. The lie is permeating the lives of people in their 20s, or at least it used to be. I don't know if it still is. I have to ask my millennial kids, I guess. But
it's funny. A couple of people in the chat room are talking about, what are we grieving right now? It's like, oh my God, it isn't necessarily a person. I mean, you could be grieving the changes we've had to make in our lives, the ability not to have the freedom to go to a movie theater right now and see something brand new on the screen, or, go to the restaurant you love because it's 50% capacity or something. I think there's a lot of things that we could grieve right now.
Yeah. I don't think.
I mean, even if it's just you grieve the fact that when you're seeing other people in public, you're just seeing their eyes and you're not having the same.
Yeah.
Like everything feels just a little less safe. Like that's something to grieve. Like and I don't know what they're writing, but I think if you aren't grieving anything and you're not aware of that, for yourself, like, I mean, okay, maybe your life is such that you found all your creature comforts and you don't need anybody else and you're good, right?
Yeah.
Cool. But maybe there are those who have a hard time seeing that everyone else is grieving and that everyone else is struggling, and dig a little deeper and pay attention that the world isn't how you experience it only, right? I think that can happen because you may hear all this and just be like, well, it's not that bad. Well, it's not that bad for you.
Yeah.
Right. Exactly. Yeah.
It's always, if you want to get on that treadmill of sorts, then you can spend all day going, oh, there's somebody who's got it worse than that. Oh, really? Because there's someone who has it worse than that too. Oh yeah, well that person got murdered. Oh yeah, well that person got raped and murdered. Oh yeah, well that person wiped out a whole classroom. Oh yeah, well you can go as far down as you want to on what level of atrocity and or grieving you should have. And all that tells me is that you are unwilling to get into the shoes of the person who's going through something. So just do that more.
Yeah.
We need more of that right now, more than we need freaking anything. We just need some freaking empathy and, I don't know, just some perspective on life that isn't yours.
I mean, if things are going well for you, if you're loving life right now, that's awesome. Good for you. But
But
I don't think
now,
that's the
maybe
situation.
shut up about it. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
Maybe keep your big yap shut. No. Even because there's going to come a day where they're going to have to go through something, whether they know it or not. They will. This is life. We all have it. One day you're going to have a thing that's going to feel devastating to you, and when you do, I hope other people are empathetic toward your problem.
Yeah, exactly.
I hope they're not all going, what are we even grieving? like F that. That's lame. That's a lame way to be. Don't be lame, is what we're saying. Don't be lame. We're not saying any names.
If everyone who has worked in particular ways in their life can appreciate the life of a baker, like what that looks like.
Yeah.
I mean, Adam, we have the chocolate done for donut people. You think that was made at one afternoon? No, that was made after 30 years of 5 a.m. and missing every Christmas with your family. That's how that donut got made.
Yep.
Right. And so you can just have a hard time to maybe get in someone's shoes if your life has been, your job has always been this. I've always worked from home and I'm comfortable. And so nothing is bugging me. Great. Good for you. But I don't know if you want a really good croissant in the morning. Someone had to get up at 2 to make that for you. So there's a bit of like, the reality for these guys is that it is the kind of industry that would burn you out. It would burn you out in a good decade, having it thrive is also difficult. And so, I think that's true for people who are facing various challenges. Anyone who's in the epidemiology department is going to be having a rough year. And so there's a bit of, maybe recognizing the limits to your experience, because I think as we all are on the internet, we think we have an opinion about everything. We have a sense of everything. No, you don't. Get up every single day for 5 years at 4 a.m. and bake stuff for other people. And then you can say there's nothing to grieve about the loss of your business, right? Yeah. It's like a kid, how much energy and work and love and sweat and tears, and then they never want to talk to you again. Oh my gosh, can you imagine, right?
Yeah.
Just there's a lot we put into something.
Yep. That's true. And I hope that these folks get some, some solace out of this conversation. Let us know how it goes for you. If you like that idea of the wakery, we could even do like a little, something with a live stream or something we could do for you. I don't know. Something to help them out.
Yeah, but, I'll buy food.
Yeah, we'll buy some baked goods.
That you can feed to the people around you, but I'll donate a cupcake for the wakery.
Yeah. Wendy's down for sugar and things. She's fine with it.
Totally.
Although, by the way, so your 7 grams of sugar or less rule or whatever it was. What was that old rule you have of sugar?
It was 10.
10?
Added sugar, not just grams, added.
Okay. Oh,
which
added.
Means like 1 granola bar, and that's it.
Okay. So, okay, that's interesting. So if I had an apple, which has a ton of natural sugar, you're not counting that, right?
No. Well, part of it is when you eat an apple.
New apples have processed sugar in them.
Oh, they coat them. Those are called candy apples.
Well, that's what it is. That's what it is.
The fiber from the fruit. That's why fruit juice, like a whole nother ballgame. I can drink, that much sugar from natural apple source, but I don't have any of the fiber that compensates. Like eat more than 2 apples in one sitting, and you're not going to have too much sugar in your life because you can't actually do it.
Right.
So that natural fruit, I just think is great.
But if you eat if you eat, let's say, sorry, I don't know why I'm thinking of this, but if you ate like a gummy bear, that's just all added sugar, right? So that's off the table. You can't have that, can you? Or you do, but you shouldn't, right?
Yeah, I don't do any of these rules anymore. So you're referring to me in 2011.
Oh, this is old Wendy. Okay.
Yeah.
This is back when we started the show, not now.
You think I could have maintained that for 9 years? Hello.
Well, for some reason I had it in my head that you still were, and that's probably why I should have.
No, like that. I am changed from that. Like I don't eat anywhere near as much sugar as I used to before that year.
Yeah.
So it's been a good thing, but I like me a good gummy bear here and there. Okay.
When Wendy passes away, we're going to mourn it, obviously.
Then you're going to take my teeth.
Then we're going to take your gold teeth and sell them because she comes from a point in the 80s where they still thought gold teeth was the jam.
Dude, 90s. It was
90s,
the 90s.
sorry. 90s. And so Wendy's got a bunch of 90s Bulls wins 7 games in a row teeth in her mouth that are all just big gold teeth. We're going to take those out and we're going to finance her kids the rest of their lives. They're going to retire your children. So there you go.
That's not worth that much anymore, but
yeah, that's probably not worth that.
But I'll
much.
tell you what, there's not a dentist who doesn't look at my mouth and like, oh my gosh, that's beautiful.
Yeah.
It's like, all right.
And they work forever. I still have a gold crown up here on the top. I have one. That thing's never been a problem.
You're gonna die with that. I know they're something else, but you also look like you love candy.
Yeah,
so
that's true. But I say embrace it. All right, next week we'll do more, and we're glad to hear you're doing all right. Happy birthday to Abe. I know it's already over, but
15.
15,
people.
dude. Jeez, he's gonna start driving in a year. How do you feel about that?
He's taking driver's lessons this second. It's like what every kid here does. Like the second they can, there's some huge course they have to take. And it takes 3 months to get through. I'm like, what the?
Really?
Minnesota, careful.
I guess so. Yeah. How? I mean,
it's just different than when we were.
You've
kids,
been on
I
the
swear.
roads and highways and stuff. Does it feel like an extra safe bunch of rules and stuff? Do you feel?
You know, if I came from Utah to here, I would think that. But I came from Sweden to here, and Sweden is like ridiculous. It is so safe and boring, and I got a $300 speeding ticket for going 5 miles over the limit. So guess what? Nobody speeds.
That's the problem over there. It's because they switched from the right side to the left side or whatever in the 70s, was it?
Yeah, it was like
60s?
1950 something.
Yeah. And so ever since then, they're like, we must be careful. Everybody, keep a nice distance away from me. That's my Swedish impression.
Keep to the right. Keep to the right.
Yeah, that's right. All right, Wendy, it's good to talk to you. Of course, you guys just launched your new thing. What can people do at Real Steps? Okay.
Yeah, it's fun. It's a really good round. We're doing a lot of talking, a lot of making people accountable in a way that we haven't before. We're still doing baby steps. You know, it's nothing crazy, but we've upped our game a little. So it's been really a fun round. Lots of cool people.
Nice.
So we're having a good time. Yeah. All
right.
And you're going to come be a little guest speaker for us, right?
I am. When are we doing that? Do you remember when
I don't know.
Doing that?
We'll figure it out next week.
We'll talk about it. It's my sister Wendy, and she is great. Wendy, we'll talk to you later.
Seconded.
Bye now. Yeah, seconded from Brian. All right.
Seconded.
Makes me. All I can think now is about baked goods. Is that wrong? That's wrong.
No, it's not wrong at all. Because I all I could think about was a friggin' cupcake with black frosting,
dude.
And I don't care if it turns my teeth black, because that's what happens with things with black frosting. But use the squid ink.
Yeah, is that a thing? Do people do that?
Yeah, squid ink, absolutely. You've never had like squid ink pasta?
No.
Oh, dude, you're missing out.
I don't even know what to think of that. Squid ink in my food?
Yes.
That's basically them nervous peeing, isn't it? I thought that's what a squid did. It was like, oh no, I'm in trouble. And then they just pee themselves.
Sure, it's by itself. It doesn't really have a flavor. It just turns things black. There might be like a slight flavor to it.
Yeah.
But you're not drinking pee.
Okay. I don't know. It's excreted from a squid.
Oh, you gotta have some squid ink pasta.
Okay, I'm looking at a headline here on healthline.com. The headline is, "What is squid ink and should I eat it?"
Yeah. What do they say?
Let's see. It's also known as cephalopod ink. It's dark ink produced by a
That
squid.
makes it sound better.
Cephalopod ink. Says it contains many compounds, including melanin, enzymes.
They changed the wrong word.
Yep.
They should have changed it to squid something else, but not kept the word ink.
Yeah, it's got some hormones in it. It says metals like cadmium, lead, and copper, as well as amino acids such as glutamate, tartarine, alanine, leucine, something, and asparic acid. The main compound.
Better bodies, 25 ways.
It says the main compound is melanin, which is the pigment thing. All right, it's fine. I just feel like I'm eating somebody's nervous excretion. That's what that feels like.
Sure. Well, it's not. Yeah, I mean, it would be. It's kind of like saying having skunk scent, right? Because that is their defense.
Yeah, and it comes out of their butt. And you know what? Squid ink comes out of a squid's butt, basically.
Yeah, squids don't have butts.
What's the hole it comes out of?
The ink hole. The pen. It comes out of the pen.
Comes out of the pen. Okay, the squid pen, of course.
Yeah.
All right. I played.
Squids don't have butts. Good
Yeah.
show title right there.
I played bass for Squid Pen years ago.
Squid pens.
Yeah.
The Washington Squid Pens.
Ah, there you
we
go. Did it.
Bring it all back around.
Bingo. All right, we're done. Thanks everybody for being here. Patreon.com/TMS is how you support our show. If you like it, then that's a great way to do it. Tomorrow, there's no morning show, but there is an exclusive patron show that happens on Friday afternoons.
Are we doing apps tomorrow?
Yes, I think so.
I have a great app. Oh my God, I have a game that I am loving.
Really? Wow.
It's been the hardest thing to not tell you about it so you could just start playing it now. Like, you got to wait until tomorrow afternoon for me to tell you about this thing.
My curiosity is uber peaked. So
Uber peaked.
Uber peak.
Costs you more.
So tomorrow.
Costs you more to get home from the Washington Squid Pens game.
Yeah.
During Uber peak.
There you go, Uber peak. So that's tomorrow. If you want to watch it live, we post it up on Patreon, but you have to be a member to get it. So check it out. It'll also be on the Patreon audio feed. Frogpants.com/TMS for everything else. That's everything I can think of. Oh, and I will be putting up that film submittal thing for our TMS film thing. So watch for that today. Okay, Brian, we're done. Tell me a song. Play me a song. Let's have a song.
Nick Brombal, the Brombadir.